that is Ukyo's real motives. He is actually a guy who do not like violence, but he considers himself a coward for standing by and letting violence happen because he's too powerless to stop it himself. Either way, this is the Dr. Stone chapter 74, and I am the Angry Anime Fan to Despair reviewer. As I said before, Ukyo finally reveals the true nature of what his conditions are, but he says to Senku that he will consider working together with him if he follows his one condition. So Senku bluntly asks what it is, and that is, as I said before, he wants nobody to die. Of course, Senku gets very confused by that, because he cannot really read Ukyo. So he asks if he's a pure and peaceful idealist, but Ukyo says that, and just says that he considered himself just a massive coward. Because when he was revived, the one thing he wanted to avoid was everyone else killing one another. After all, now that the world has been rebooted, why should they just fight over? I think that is why he fought Tsukasa, and although Tsukasa did destroy the statues, uh, I mean, he allowed the destruction of Tsukasa's of the statues because he justified it by saying, as they are currently these statues, nothing more than just that statues. Simply not allowing them to be revived is not murder, is how Ukyo justified it. But he also probably followed Tsukasa because Tsukasa is strong, almost too strong, and although violent and defeating anyone who opposes him, as long as nobody is opposing him, then no one has to die. That's his status quo. So maybe that's why Ukyo decided to follow Tsukasa, because he thought that no one will have to die if he did. But now, with Senku alive, as well as the fact that he continued destroying statues, as well as that he was willing to conquer an innocent village by force, he is questioning that. So, in the end, Ukyo considers himself a coward who do not want to see other people die before his eyes. Because this is a world where they finally has one final grasp on their humanity. So, if Senku promises 0 casualties, he will cooperate. If not, well, he doesn't say that. After all, Senku wanted this to be a battle without any casualties. The thing is, though, will that really happen? I mean, granted, Senku do not have the stomach to kill. Magma maybe have. So, but can they really do the pacifistic run? Because just from the ending of this all, who knows? Either way, then, Ukyo then switches back to Japanese, as it does confirm that when Hyuga came back, the goons what with him was not back with him. He said that his underlings were killed by Senku's defense strategies. But it wasn't, as we all know. I mean, Suka lured them to a place, but in the end it was Hyuga who allowed them to be killed with a gas. Because it turns out that Hyuga and Tsukasa are not so alike as we actually thought they were. Tsukasa is willing to use violence whenever he wants, because he considered that way. As still, though, he acknowledges some people and, well, seems to have camaraderie. However, judging from the way Ukyo says it, it seems to suggest that Hyuga, on the other hand, is just pure and simple cold. Because later on, he finds the footprints of the grave and wonders why they are here. And Tsukasa comes to the grave to pay a respect to Yo, who has died. Well, no, he has not died. Yo actually simply faked his death because of the embarrassment of the fact that Chrome got away. So he wanted to reboot his life, so by using the stone thing, that popped out when Chrome smashed his nuts, he thinks he can say that he fell into the waterfall when he tried to chase Chrome. And so he escapes by rebooting his life, and the underling was on that. So he comes to pay his debt on the grave, as well as to Gosan, Yuki, Ren, Akashi, Kyoshiro, and Morito, which turns out to be the same underlings that Hyuga took with them. Those muscle heads. I don't know who is who. But this shows that Tsukasa can remember the name of his underlings. Hyuga cannot, because Hyuga is more cold-hearted than Tsukasa, and that's saying something. So, that makes the question though: is it possible that Hyuga is the reason why is gonna be in the end the one who really has to be stopped and not just Tsukasa? Well, we'll see about that. But then, as Senku heads out with the tank to take back the Cave of Miracles, he's revealed he's gonna fire a shot using a leather ruptured disc, which they can use the electronics of the water to make it bubble up, and then the hydrogen and oxygen gas that it expels will fill the rupture, and then it continues expanding kablam. However, firing that shot will ruin the tank, so unfortunately they will do it, but it will create confusion given the fact that a tank just fired a shot. And they must reclaim the Cave of Miracles. Then that will be a few seconds of do it all. But in order to do that, they need power. So after a long while, finally, Taiju appears again before Senku. And even though they have never met, Kwaku immediately recognizes Taiju. And Taiju tries to hug Senku, but of course Senku evades that and just gives him a pat on the back. And he also greets Yusihara. But then when Tsukasa tries to bury the uh, remains of Yu, he unwittingly stumbles upon the telephone that he rips up. And he can only react in surprise and fear when he sees that. Meaning that one split second window is now exposed. Now the people, the Kingdom of Science are gonna attack the Cave of Miracles and decide the fate of humanity in 20 seconds. So will they be able to do that in 20 seconds? Tsukasa has now find the telephone, and with it, very likely we'll find out that Senku has been, well, brainwashing his troops. So the non-violent path that Ukyo wants may not happen after all. But will that be because Senku or the other else? Also, they had 20 seconds to take over the Cave of Miracles. Let's say, for argument's sake, they do take it back. Then what? Tsukasa can just take it back with his troops, or can he? It's also the fact that what are they gonna do with the goons? Knock them out? Either way, Taiju has officially joined back with Senku, together with Yusihara. Now the Kingdom of Science truly is assembled. The question is, can they really do it? Give me your thoughts if you have any.